This episode of IzzyLand Uncut is brought to you by Anchor. Start your career in podcasting with Anchor. Go to anchor.fm and sign up today. It's quick, easy, and free.
People in the middle, they either don't vote or they pick one of the two sides because they're being told by everyone that it has to be one of the two sides. It's like, no, we can do a third party or a write-in, and people are like, no, not this time. This election's too important. You have to vote for one or the other. And they say that every single 4 years. Every 4 years, it's the same thing. You can't vote not Republican or Democrat. You have to vote for one or the other, or you're just wrong.
I'll be damned. I'm still voting for Andrew Yang.
And again, like it's counterproductive when you say, when someone's like, no, I'm not going to vote for this person or whatever because of A, B, and C, and they go, well, you ain't shit, essentially. And I mean, we've seen this, even with everything, like throughout society, even religion, where it's like, oh, you don't believe in God or whatever, then then you're evil, whatever, like you're a spawn of Satan or whatever. I mean, we've seen this sort of toxic concept or whatever, and it's just, you're not going to get people on your side having with that sort of attitude.
Start the countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, everyone? You are now listening to the 6th podcast episode of the uncut, uncensored, unscripted version of IzzyLand. I'm your host, Ishmael Izzy Bowden, and man, y'all are in for a treat. If any of you are OG members of the Yang Gang, you may very well have heard the names of the two guests that I have brought on today. They're not only avid supporters of former presidential candidate Andrew Yang, but have also actively participated on the campaign trail, spreading the word, fighting corruption, and pushing his innovative yet practical ideas. They know firsthand about the struggle of working paycheck to paycheck and barely able to stay afloat. They even created a YouTube channel talking about Yang and the broke folk vote. I present to you Vermont's own Russ and Elasa, Grassroots Yang Gang. Guys, welcome to IzzyLand.
What's up, man?
We're happy to be here.
Yeah, it's this is a little bit more professional than we're used to.
And it's about time you guys came on. It's like, I've been dangling a bit of bait for you guys. It's like, come on in. Like, it's just, he finally took it. So it's like, so for starters, I mean, what y'all been up to? How, like, I know, like, ever since Yang dropped out and then this pandemic came in, like, a lot of things and stuff have been, it's been crazy. But like, how y'all been managing, all of this? Like, what y'all been up to? Like, what sort of updates and stuff do you have to give? Do you want to give the listeners and all that?
Well, it was obviously very difficult when Yang suspended, because we had poured our heart and soul into the campaign and did everything that we thought we could, to move that campaign along. And so it's been, for a long time, we kind of felt lost. We still do to a point, although we're looking ahead to 2024.
Yeah. I mean, and same here, because like, I like you, like I invested, so much, even though I wasn't able to get on, join you guys on the campaign trail, like the, do like the, really be part of the Yang Gang and like do the phone banking and knocking on doors and stuff like that. I mean, due to my health and stuff, I still like, really, put my heart and soul into this. And like you, Russell, I had the same sort of frustration, more so like I actually started getting like major headaches due to it. um but but yeah, like you have been pushing to 2024, at least like pushing those humanity first, the humanity first message, he has and been trying to bring into our society, because it's definitely necessary. you know um but
It's
yeah,
like, and it's kind of sad because now we see a lot of division in the Yang Gang.
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Why don't you go into that? Because like I also noticed that like after he dropped out, it's like I'm noticing like members either left the Yang Gang, or went or essentially like went back to like their old ways. Like what if you noticed like uh when the whole campaign like ended and stuff, like what do you notice, like how, like did you see, did you have the same perspective when it came to like people in the Yang Gang are like were like I guess um it just had no reason to like keep going forward or whatever, just lost, we're just as lost, or just went back to like how they were before all of this.
You want to feel that one?
Yeah, it's like a bunch of us came together, like from all different backgrounds. We
Yeah,
had
like we were like a
Republicans,
family. Yeah.
Democrats, yeah, independents. Like it was just those that are politically disengaged. So we had all these different people coming together, and we all just got along. And we were uniting behind this goal of getting Andrew Yang elected for, all the policies that he has, including UBI, the biggest one, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But see,
But
that just shows you right there the danger of this two-party system that we have in place right now. Because once Andrew the Uniter Yang was out of the way, everybody just went, back to their camps, whether they went to the right or whether they went to the left, or the politically disengaged just became politically disengaged again.
they got off Twitter, got off YouTube,
They
just disappeared.
didn't want no part of it. And now you've got, the people who come from the more conservative side, like myself and you and like Trumper for Yang, and I've kind of tried to stay out of it, because to me we are all still family,
Yeah.
and we are all still on the same side. And when if you can just look past, okay, so you believe this way, well, I believe this way. Well, you know what? We ain't even got to talk about that, because at the end of the day, I still care about you as a person. I don't care about, really what it is that you believe. I just want you to be okay and for you to do better in whatever it is that you're doing. Because in another life, I am you. You are me. We're all connected, And the sooner that we realize that, the sooner that we're going to be able to come together as a country. Right now you're seeing so much division, just especially in the major cities, all the violence and the protests, and everybody's got their own agenda. But man, if we keep going like this, it's just going to end badly for everybody. So the only way to avoid that is for everybody to come together.
Yeah, that's the only way. And I mean, once upon a time, Russ, I mean, we used to, sit around the table and, you know, um, share our various ideas and stuff. And like we used to all be independent, no matter what party we align with. And we were like we would share our ideas. No one would be like silenced out or anything like that, and we would just sift through it, see which works, and then once we come with a sensible solution, bam, that's what we um created, together and stuff. There was none of this this duopoly that Andrew Yang himself mentioned, and many others, where it's like it's like a tug of war, and you got one side on the left and the other side on the right, and there's no there's not enough like unity, and so everyone is like, my word is law, and you either with me or against me, that sort of stuff. And I mean, it's counterproductive. Like, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. It's counterproductive.
There's still some of us, it's a smaller group, but there's some of us that all are still getting along and all humanity first, and we try not to be divisive like others or to vote shame others. We're just here to spread love and
Yeah.
support humanity forward, because that's important, because Andrew Yang is still doing the things that he was trying to do as president. He's still getting money to people and building all these organizations to help people. So, I mean, if we can just stay spreading love.
And that's something I heard Lex Friedman talk about it the other day. And he was talking about Andrew on the Joe Rogan podcast. And he was talking about how, in Andrew Yang, you have this embodiment of fresh ideas, this embodiment of a person who wants society as a whole to do better. And that's like, to me, that's the ultimate symbol of a leader, because as a leader, a true leader wants his people to do the absolute best that they can, right?
Yeah.
That's what a true leader wants. And Andrew is that person. And you see what is presented to us in Donald Trump and in Joe Biden, and it's just ridiculous. I mean, is this really what you want? Is this really what you want?
Wrong.
Is this really what you want? I mean, come on, man. That's what we're stuck with.
Man, it's oh gosh, like I can't wait to get into that. I mean, because it's like a rerun of what we've been dealing with, and this division, in a sense, was in a way planned. I'm not sure if you could sense that as well, because the powers that be, those are not higher ups. I mean, even though it may appear controversial to a certain extent, I mean, you're seeing it in Nancy Pelosi, where she's once again trying to stall the stimulus check and stuff. By the way, did y'all happen to get the first stim checks, or has it come to you guys yet?
Yeah, we were actually lucky, and we were blessed to be able to get it without too much trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's just it. All of this stuff is planned. It's right before election time. We got to keep the people divided as we can right now, because as long as the people are divided, they're going to stay in their camps. No new, fresh ideas are going to be able to make it to the surface. You're going to have the Trump people vote for Trump. You're going to have the Biden people vote for Biden. And, because really it's going to come down to what? I came from the conservative side. I'm not comfortable voting for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Because I've seen his voting record for the past as long as I've been alive. I have all the evidence.
You saw the true face of him. Yeah, you saw the truth.
Ultimately, it doesn't even matter, because both sides work for the same corporations. The same lobbyists are paying both sides. So it really doesn't matter. And that's why Andrew Yang was so refreshing, because he was like, hey, democracy dollars, we can wash the corporate money out of Washington. Wow, we should have done that a long time ago, because guess who's still getting money? All of the corporations, all of the companies,
People at the top, yeah,
still getting these bailouts. It's not us. The military-industrial complex just commandeered $1 billion, as if they didn't get enough fucking money. I mean, come on, man. We got people starving here in America, and you're gonna let another $1 billion go to defense contractors.
They're making a profit. They're making a profit off of our struggle, But I also want to, on the subject, I also want to get into the this voter shaming and tribalism, because I know, like, you yourself recently have dealt with that, because you were, on the Biden train or whatever, and you know people were, flipping you off for that. And I've seen that sort of stuff, like, on both sides, and continuously, it's again like they're doing all this, you either with us or against us. And it happened in 2016, and probably years before. um like, do you think this also, has to deal with, like, mind of scarcity, or like how, being, like, brainwashed by the media, those that are that are in control of the media and stuff. It's like what is your perspective on this? Like, why do people react this way, without thinking, going, okay, what's your, if they, looking at the choice we have, they're going like, wait a minute, this is like, do I really have to, like, settle for less and deal for what we got? It's like, why don't you delve into that?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both, actually. I think a lot of it is the media pushing their different agendas. You hear it on Fox, you hear it on CNN. They all got their own agendas. I mean, really, the only ones that I've seen that are really impartial is probably The Hill. They're probably the most impartial
And
that
they're
I've
not
seen.
mainstream, so
And they're not mainstream.
yeah.
But and then it is a mindset of scarcity, because the Democrats are like, oh gosh, we can't let Trump win, and the Republicans are like, oh gosh, we can't let Biden win, and it's just like, you know what?
Yeah.
You ain't gonna vote shame me, because I'm a grown ass man and I'll vote for who I want to vote for. And guess what? Trump ain't getting my vote, and neither is Biden. I'm still voting for Andrew Yang, and if that pisses you off, you know what? Guess what? You're part of the problem, because you're still involved in this whole two-party system thing. It's not me that's the problem. It's you that's the problem with your mentality. Because guess what? There's more of us that are right there in the middle than there are on either side. If the people in the middle would just stand the fuck up and do something about it.
Yeah, 'cause the people in the middle, they either don't vote or they pick one of the two sides because they're being told by everyone that it has to be one of the two sides. It's like, no, we can do a third party or a write-in, and people are like, no, not this time. This election's too important. You have to vote for one or the other. And they say that every single 4 years. Every 4 years, it's the same thing. You can't vote not Republican or Democrat. You have to vote for one or the other, or you're just wrong.
I'll be damned. I'm still voting for Andrew Yang.
And again, like, it's counterproductive when you say, when someone's like, no, I'm not going to vote for this person or whatever because of A, B, and C, and they go, well, you ain't shit, essentially. And I mean, we've seen this, even, with everything, like, throughout society, even religion, where it's like, oh, you don't believe in God or whatever, then you're evil, whatever, like, you're a spawn of Satan or whatever. I mean, we've seen this sort of toxic concept or whatever, and it's just, you're not going to get people, on your side having with that sort of attitude. And it's like, again, like, and I mean, you have the right to whatever choice you make, or, like, if you say, you're, whether you choose Biden or Trump, or you just don't choose any of them. I mean, that's your right, and you shouldn't be demonized or ridiculed or whatever, just or even or silenced just for that. I mean, because it's just wrong, and it's it's like, it goes against free speech, and just like the free will that we have as human beings. And for me, like, I myself will be considered like a disengaged voter, or more or less like, I'm one of those people who voted third party. I believe in 2016, like, I chose Jill Stein, because I'm for me, I'm a man of about, like, I'm all about, like, action rather than words. Like, if you say one thing and do another, then you're just a liar. But if you show that you're committed, and you really are, helping the people, like you say. Yeah, I'm going to support that, and at the time, Jill Stein, she was, she participated in the Standing Rock, which was like a protest for like, and I think Trump actually supported this. They were putting like this pipeline through at one of the sacred lands for the Indians, I believe. And I don't know, it's just North or South Dakota, and there was a big protest on it, which was similar. There was like a somewhat of a correlation between that and the civil rights movement, which was eerily similar in a way. But she actually, Jill Stein actually participated in that. She even went like, on the west side of Chicago, which is like and if any listeners are Chicago natives, like they know, like over on the west side, I believe Austin or whatever, that's one of the dangerous areas. And she went over there, just to talk with the people, like even if it was a publicity stunt or whatever, she went over there and came out alive. And I saw the same thing in Andrew Yang, Tulsi Gabbard, and and but because like people like Hillary Clinton, or Joe Biden pants to the crowd by playing Despacito on their phone, or saying they got hot sauce in their purse. I'm like, I'm surprised no more people aren't saying "fuck you," but it's just some of us who are like that. Meanwhile, everybody else is like looking at us like we're the oddballs or something.
Well, there's two groups of people. You got your people who, like us, who don't want to be pandered to, but then you got a whole other section that wants to be pandered to. And it is kind of disgusting. I mean, all I can do is laugh when Joe Biden started playing Despacito. I just shook my head. I was like, okay, boomer. Okay, boomer.
I couldn't watch the rest of it. I think I saw it on one show on Secular Talk, Kyle Kalinske and stuff, and I could not sit through it. Like I was about to punch my laptop. Like that's how. I mean, I'll admit that. I mean, a while back, I think this was when Obama was running. Like I sounded like one of those, believe everything that was fed to me sort of people. Like I'll be the first to admit that. And over time, I just like my eyes open wide. I had that, not your typical wokeness, like this wokeness today where you either change your hair color or put the word fact on an end of an opinion, but like the sort of wokeness that you hear, are you guys familiar with like comedian George Carlin?
Listen, I understand exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about what you're talking about is more of a self-realization.
Yes, enlightenment.
That's where you look around and you're like, holy fuck, what the hell is this? Have I really been asleep this long? It's man, shit, you look around and shit is really fucked up. Yeah. And you become aware more of those who are suffering around you. And I think that's where we're kind of getting to as a country. We are realizing that, man, there's a lot of homeless people on the street now. Why are we living like this? Why does this have to happen? It doesn't. We're allowing it to happen. And that's the kind of waking up that people need to do. It's not about being woke. That woke bullshit, the cancel culture, I can't stand it. Man, if you ain't gonna be real with me, then you just need to shut the hell up and go away, because I ain't got time to deal with it.
And dude, let me tell you, I know some people will say like Twitter isn't real life or whatever, but listen, I recall when I was in at this university in my in the city, and I believe I was in talk with this one professor. I believe she was voting for Hillary or whatever, and I was like Hillary, this is back in I don't know if it's 2016 or 2015, but it was one of the classes, and the professor was like, she was mentioning like, oh, she's gonna vote for Hillary. I'm like, why are you voting for her? It's like she's no good. It's like she's not gonna. And then she was talking about some, she's a woman and she is going to change, our future or something, some bullshit like that. It's like she's going to change the world. She looked like she was about to beat my ass. I was like, dang. But I tried to convince her, like, well, if you want a woman, why not vote for Jill Stein? It's like at least she's doing something. It's like today it's like if you want a woman, why not vote for Tulsi Gabbard or at least Marianne Williamson? It's like, but they're like, oh, I don't know much about them, or it's like, I don't think they're gonna win or whatever, and stuff like that. And I mean, the media is responsible for that because again, like they give you this illusion that you only have two choices, that duopoly or whatever. That's what they broadcast.
Yeah, but people that say that, that's just it. People that say that, they're like, oh, well, I don't know much about her. Well, guess what? You obviously didn't know a whole hell of a lot about Hillary Clinton, or you wouldn't be throwing your weight behind her because the woman was pure evil. So, I mean, get the hell out of here with that dumbass line of thinking, man. It's crazy what we're like subjected to today.
And dude, like, come on, like when she says like on what was it, like the Breakfast Club or whatever, like, I love black people, I carry hot sauce in my purse. Come on, surely, like, just hearing that, like, it would be like, are you fucking serious?
No, that's what. Come on, Izzy. That's what you don't understand. It is a prerequisite if you are gonna like black people or African Americans. You got to have hot sauce in your pocket, or you just ain't white.
Man, I see it like this. And like going back to like the powers that be, and like the like what George Carlin mentioned, like the owners of this country, not wanting us to like sit around and like actually think about being screwed over by the top 1% and whatnot, but just like be obedient workers. And I even mentioned this in with Ariel, my previous guest, where you have these guys at the top who don't want us to like really think for ourselves, but just settle for less, work a 9 to 5, paycheck to paycheck, and not like try to like give our lives any sort of substance or do what we enjoy and stuff, or even convince others, and try to like pin everyone else against us, by broadcasting on the media like their interpretation of real and stuff, because we know that there are people out there, and like it's definitely strategic or whatever, because there are people out there who only have channels like CNN, MSNBC, Fox, ABC7, whereas they don't have any and they don't have anything else, or like they have to use certain cables like Comcast, and it's like there's like no way around that. And sometimes even the newspapers, like the Washington Post or Chicago Tribune, like even they are biased and give the same sort of illusion at times. So it's like they essentially prey on the vulnerable, and it's almost like, in a sense, it's almost like slavery, but instead it's like we have the mind of slavery, and the owners are like, it's like it's self-explanatory. And if you have developed like that sense of enlightenment, the punishment will be getting silenced, or getting belittled and mocked or whatever. And yet when I kind of say like this I always say like this pandemic, COVID, I feel like it's like a blessing in disguise, because now people are beginning to wake up. But what also upsets me is that I'm noticing that people only wake up at the last minute, like when there is a crisis, like when we've already predicted the storm is coming, and then once the storm has arrived, people are like, oh shit, we better get out of here. We better do something.
Don't you think that like a lot of that is generational?
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like,
I hate to say it, man,
especially like our parents' generation they were kind of asleep to all the things that were going on. Yep. But now we're in this internet age, and we're all connected, and I feel like, especially we've been trying to tell people the truth for how long?
Years
and years.
Yeah.
And
What
big politician.
generation? What generation were your parents were from? You know, if I might ask. Like
Boomers.
were they baby boomers? Were they silent generation? Were they or older? Is like
They're boomers. Yes.
How do you think we are?
I don't know. I'm just asking because I mean you do make a great point that these sorts of things I do appear, you know, well, let's be honest, they are generational because what I'm also noticing is that yeah, older folks, you know, especially like the baby boomers, where I mean like they were in a time where yeah they did get a lot of opportunities and such, and and then like when these sorts of but then once these problems came around and they noticed that oh things are not going as planned, you know, they instead of like getting frustrated with like those in power or whatever, they actually take it out on, you know, their children, their offspring,
Yeah, but
and then so on and
that's
so forth.
because it if for them to do anything else would be for them to admit that they were wrong as a generation, and they're
Yeah,
not going to do that as
they
a
got to
whole.
take
There's
responsibility if they hate
there's
that.
yeah, there's that now there are, you know, certain one that's not every boomer, you know, that's not all encompassing. But as a whole, as a generation, they let this shit get out of hand because, you know, they were receiving the benefits of the government and because the government was working a little more for the people then. But, you know, as automation started taking over everything, and this is where Andrew was so on point. You know, when I was younger, I remember my grandfather working at the Goodyear plant in
Yeah.
Ohio for years and years and years. And he had benefits. And when he retired, he had money, you know, and but the plant closed down there and it ravaged the entire community because that community relied on that plant being there, but it got automated away.
Sounds like Flint,
And
Michigan.
yeah, it's like that in a lot of the big industrial cities.
Oh yeah.
And you see it everywhere. And then these places, like Andrew said, they become eyesores and they just become a blight on the community. And it's just a constant reminder of the lack of opportunity that you're going to have if you're growing up in that kind of environment.
Right.
And it's become so disparate between the haves and the have-nots, and the have-nots are just on the brink of destruction in this country. And I feel like that's a lot of the reason why you're seeing this huge overflow of people becoming more active in these protests, and because they're just pissed off, man. They're pissed off.
Oh yeah. But it's like, but the other thing is that they aren't like cognitively, they aren't they're not like, you know, protesting the right things, even though, you know, issues like police brutality and you know,
Right.
women's rights
You're
and stuff
exactly
like
right. Because
yeah.
if people were protesting what they need to be protesting,
Yeah.
everybody's ass would be in Washington, D.C. right now demanding that the United States government do something for the fucking people.
Thank you. Right, exactly. Because it's like, because like this, I recall like seeing that one video where, and y'all probably saw it too, and it's I believe it went viral, where you had all these protesters gathering around Rand Paul saying, "Say her name," referring to like Breonna Taylor, and I'm sitting there going like, you imagine if they gathered around and said, "Hey, where's my fucking stim check? Where's my UBI? Where's, you know, where's my healthcare or whatever? Like I got bills to pay." You know, it's like it's also, you know, same with like over on the right where they're like they're saying like you know, during the pandemic, like, oh, I got to oh, it's my right not to wear a mask, and, you know, free speech and Second Amendment. I'm like, no, like, no, or like, you know, F the libs, and I'm sitting there going like, no, the reason why you're upset is because you got a bill due tomorrow, and the people at the top are preventing you from paying that bill. You know, it's like you need financial assistance, financial relief. You also need you know, to get your health checked. You know, that's why both UBI and healthcare are very important among other things, and and like democracy dollars, like you said, and ranked choice voting. But you know these people, like they just don't, that doesn't really cross their mind, because they're so, like, their judgment is like so clouded due to all that anger and frustration, and also like it also is like a sense of fear, thinking that even if they gather together, the people at the top be like, like, what will all these people do? Like, we'll just stomp all over them, unless like someone, like, if we're able to, like, I kind of joke this about a lot, but like, imagine if lobbyists were the Yang Gang or someone from the Rothschild family or whatever. It's like, imagine them saying, hey, telling Pelosi and Mitch, where, like, hey, you need to get these people UBI, financial assistance, and Medicare for all, and all these other things, or you ain't getting shit yourself. It's like if something like that needs to happen in order for us to make any sort of progress.
That's what we were talking about a while ago. How much did you say the Defense Department's budget was, or whatever it was?
It was a large number, like 700 billion. It's a ridiculous number that they have each year in their budget. Like,
for the military, which, yes, I do feel like we have to have a strong military, because we do face threats outside of this country. But when you've got corruption that they're just putting in your face, okay, we're just going to take another $1 billion from the CARES Act or the HEROES Act,
Yeah.
and we'll just commandeer that while the people, are broke and can't pay.
They get
and
breadcrumbs,
it's
right?
not a secret.
It's not a secret. They're putting it in your face. They're telling you that we are so corrupt that we don't even care to hide it anymore.
They're
We don't
slapping
even
you in
care.
the face with it.
You know why? Because we can shoot you in the fucking face. We can do what we want to do. We can piss all over your neighborhood because we have the power.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Ever wanted to share a thought or a perspective on a certain issue to an audience of your choosing?
Heck yeah!
Well, then podcasting is the way to go. When it comes to podcasting, you can verbalize your insights on a range of topics in an unfiltered setting. You don't really need a voice for radio, just pick up a mic and speak. Anyone can do it. And the best place to get your podcast up and running is the free podcast-based platform called Anchor. With Anchor, not only you can easily upload and or record your episodes and promos from the comfort of your own home, but you can have your podcast shared on various social media platforms. I've actually seen my own podcast, IzzyLand Uncut, on apps like Spotify and freaking iTunes.
Bruh.
And as an added bonus, Anchor gives you the option to monetize your podcast. It's unreal, and that can be you. Just sign up today for free at anchor.fm. That's ANCHOR.FM. Get started on creating content, building your audience, and one day you may become the next Joe Rogan. Just begin your career in podcasting with Anchor and let your creativity go wild. But I know, like, I mean, like, if we were to, vandalize freaking Capitol Hill, or, or like their houses or whatever, I know, like, they're going to have some serious security, and they have the fear of, like, of losing, or it will look like literally like a war, and more lives will be lost because they're like holed up in their like their $1 million like safe house or whatever. And but then again, we're probably just like overstepping this cook. We're not even at step one yet. We don't even have like we're not even that organized or whatever. We're still, there's still like multiple divisions occurring now, and a lot of the other thing I'm noticing is like like what you hear from like Congress and those empowering the rich folks, like you're also seeing it be reverberated by your everyday people, in the society, even in like our organizations and in our families and our friends, like so on and so forth. Even the doctors, like they're saying things like, oh, get a job or do this by yourself, or um, you know, be positive, and it's like I'm like, that's what I'm noticing. Like, wait a minute, I could have sworn I heard like Nancy Pelosi or Steve Mnuchin say the same shit. It's like, wait, it's like did you also notice that as well? Like this sort of like pattern, that's a toxic pattern, is like almost like an epidemic in a sense.
Yeah, yeah, you see the patterns, man. It's the whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality.
Yeah,
And it's just like, okay, at some point in time, you just have to realize that you got to have fucking bootstraps to be able to pull yourself up by them. And guess what? Y'all stole our bootstraps.
yeah,
Your
stole them
generation stole our bootstraps.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
right off her feet. Yeah, but I do want to ask, like, how can we get more people like us in power? Because like I know, like Dr. Jermaine Johnson, like he recently managed, like, to make an upset against being the incumbent in South Carolina, right? And he's been appointed as the new chair, and he'll start in like January and stuff. But it was definitely an upset because he went against the corruption and he beat all of that corruption. I mean, like, how can we make it possible for people like David Kim, Jen Perlman, Blair Washington, Carlos Cardona, and many others? How can we like get them like a seat into Congress, and not like have a win like Dr. Jermaine Johnson's be like a one-time thing or a fluke or whatever. Like, how can we like really cement ourselves into at the top, so we can make great change. Like what needs to be done? What drastic measures do we have to put in place in order to make this dream become like a reality?
That's a tough one. Because all you can do is keep trying and keep running for Congress, and it takes a lot of money. So that's the big thing.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money to run a successful campaign, you're just not going to make it, because it all comes down to the money. So as the Yang Gang, what we can do is just keep supporting those that we know are running, and then also run ourselves if we can. And just, if so many of us are behind this and continue to run for Congress over and over and over again for as long as it takes, eventually we're going to wash everybody else away. And hopefully that works. And it's just, how cool would it be if all of Congress was all Yang Gang, whether you're left or right, if you're Yang Gang? Because we all knew and we all saw that what needed to happen in this country because of Andrew Yang, who opened all of our eyes. Either we knew before or we knew after Andrew came along, but now we know that what we're doing now is not working. And all these people sitting in Congress for 60 years, like it's not working for the people anymore.
But first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being and I deserve to be treated like it. But it's so crazy. Like, that's from the movie The Newsroom. Was it The Newsroom? Or something like that. Anyway, it's so true, because if people in this country first don't get mad, they're not going to do anything. Because guess what? As long as I'm mad, I'm actively doing something about it. If I'm not mad, I'm just checking my Twitter, checking my Facebook, going on about my life, and time is just passing by, and the corruption just gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
You've got to get motivated enough to run for these offices.
And take action.
I mean, if we get enough down ballot candidates, like Dr. Jermaine Johnson, who was a friend of ours who we've interviewed several times, had him on the show. David Kim had him on the show several times. Carlos Cardona had him on the show. Once you get mad enough, and people see that, people in your community will see it, that you actually care about their well-being, that you actually are trying to stand for something. And you know what? People are fed up with the status quo. They don't want it anymore. So when you do get mad and you do get out there in front of your community and run for something that matters, people are going to vote for you, and the money's going to come. You can believe that. If somebody believes in you, they will put their dollars behind you. I promise you.
That's how Andrew Yang was able to raise as much as he did with the small group. I mean, we were a big group, but small compared to other groups. But look how much money he raised in each of those quarters just from his.
All of us broke motherfuckers donating $20 at a time because we believe so much in the vision of what he was standing for. We were willing to sacrifice that money. I mean, like, we really.
I myself donated. You know, a couple of times. It's like, yeah, like, and I don't. You know, and I'm like, I'm betting like this is like the first time you invested so much in a candidate, you know, like for me, like even, you know, someone like not even Obama or Bernie, like, or even Jill Stein I did it for, like, even though like I you know, support those people, like it was Andrew Yang that you know, got me buying his merch and donating this stuff, because I definitely believe this movement. And I feel like if this becomes a part of our society, and you know, and like you know, when I see the our rallies and stuff, and how excited we are, and like gather together and just like enjoying life and having fun or whatever, and like treat each other like family. I want that to be, you know, how this nation, how this society looks. I want that to be the new normal, you know. So it's like yeah. Like I really like will like that to happen, but we do need to like rally a lot of people up and like say, get everyone like screaming, saying like, hey, I'm a fucking human being, because it's like that scene in A Bug's Life where you had Flick, who was standing against you know, the leader of the Grasshoppers and stuff, and you know, like he when he was like standing up, whatever, like Hopper like tried to squish him and, you know, beat him up and stuff. But then, you know, when he reminded them like how strong ants are or whatever, and then, you know, then first it was, you know, the princess, then everyone else, all the other ants like started gathering together and have that same sort of anger, and then, you know, Hopper went from being dominating to like, you know, being scared shitless, and then all of them like charged at him and like took it to him, and then it's like then he started like, you know, cowering out or whatever, you know, like a bully, you know. And so we all gotta like and so that's what we gotta do. We gotta all like stand together and, you know, to take out these bullies, because if just one person, you know, whether it be you or me, were to, you know, flip these guys off, they'll just laugh at us. We need to get more people like just, you know, ready to fight, you know. So I mean,
we're trying, man. We're trying. We're rallying for 2024. You know, we're right here next to New Hampshire, so we plan on getting an early start.
But I still think that Yang, which hopefully he does run in 2024, hopefully he does not spend all of his time, as cool as it would be if he spent all of his time in New Hampshire again. I don't know if that's the right move.
No. See what needs to happen.
Apparently, you don't need the early states.
See, here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I've already been mulling this over. Okay, so Andrew needs to concentrate more in South Carolina, but with the broke folk vote, because there's a lot of broke people in South Carolina, and it's an early voting state. And Dr. Jermaine Johnson is down there in South Carolina.
Yeah.
He needs to focus there, right? So I don't know if you know anything about this channel, but we have been yanking people for a long time. And
I saw,
we have got some special stuff coming up for New Hampshire this year, where we are going to be yanking people on a much larger scale. And by the time 2024 rolls around, we're going to try to have Andrew Yang secure up here in New Hampshire, and let him concentrate in South Carolina and get that early voting state.
Forget Iowa. Just
Forget Iowa. Yeah, I mean,
sorry, Iowans.
and you know what? If Andrew Yang is smart, Andrew Yang will do what he did originally when he first started running, and that is appeal to the disengaged voters who are politically. That's half the country, Andrew, who are politically homeless. You can give them a home in the Yang.
Those rallies he was doing, I mean, you saw each rally drew so many people.
Dude, they were off the chain, and it had people excited, and it had people fired up. Guess where you?
I was at the Chicago rally, like, so I know. Yeah, it's like
we were in Portland, we were in Boston. I mean, and there was so much energy surrounding him. Guess where you didn't see that? New Hampshire. No. You did not see that energy in New Hampshire.
People looked at us crazy. We were like, "Woo,
I mean, I saw it on the video, and as well along with LA. So, I mean, and the Chicago one gave me a bit of a taste of that. So I can imagine, but yeah.
That's what he needs to stick to, because that's what gets people excited.
And we need the excitement. If you don't have the excitement, you're not gonna have. You got to have the excitement behind the campaign.
Look.
For people to
people don't need you to stand up there and tell them about your platform, because guess what? Your platform is on the internet for everybody to see. You need to start talking about the things that are going to get people excited, you know, and that's being able to pay their bills.
Mm-hmm.
That's being able to buy diapers next week. That's being able to say, hey, you know what? If my child gets sick, I'm not all of a sudden destitute and homeless. You know,
because the biggest block of voters right now is the millennials and Gen Zs. And I know X, but like even Gen X, if you put Gen X in there, that's like almost everybody.
And
the boomers.
I myself am millennial. I was born in like 92, you know, and I literally saw like malls closing, and you know, I mean, I grew up on arcades before, but then. You know, when you started, like, you know, I saw it staying when Andrew Yang mentioned about automation. I saw it in my own backyard, you know, it, especially like it started with the video games. Like it went from being arcades to like going on consoles, and you know, and places like Walmart having self checkouts, and even and I'm not sure if like the drugstores in your area are the same, but over here. The CVS, at least in my location, are started self checkout, and this is because of like you know, the pandemic. So who knows how many jobs will be automated away once you know, this pandemic subsides, or at least, you know, and I heard there's threat of a second wave coming, or it's like all these things that Andrew Yang spoke of are just like speeding up. Like it's been shortened from, like, you know, like you said, 10 years to 10 weeks. You know, it's like it's already happening, and forget the data. All you gotta do is just look around, and like it's clear as day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's only going to accelerate, because you know what doesn't get sick? Robots, automation. It doesn't get sick. And it's way more cost effective.
Yeah.
You know, for me as a boss, it's way more cost effective for me not to have to train 7 schmucks to do a job, when I can just have one robot that does it for me, and I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to worry about them calling in sick. It's only accelerating what's happening with this pandemic, because companies are like, well, you know what, it's going to be way more cost effective for me to have Flippy the robot flipping hamburgers in my McDonald's than it is for me to have some bunch of sick people coughing all over everybody's food.
Yeah, it's beneficial, and it also, you know, lowers the cost and stuff. And you know, people argue that, oh, it's not that bad because you still got to have someone to look after the machines because they'll break down or whatever. They do, but it's still gonna.
It's taking away more jobs than it actually creates, you know. And the crazy thing is, this is where we have to start separating our work from our intrinsic value, because guess what? Let's let the robots have the damn hamburger flipping jobs, because I never liked it when I worked at McDonald's. Okay, I hated it. I hated every second of it. I don't want to smile in your face and ask, do you want fries with that? I don't. Let the robots have the job. But we have to, in turn, create a society where our self-worth and our value isn't tied to our job title. Is not tied to, you know, I mean, let's be free to create again. I believe, you know, if we actually embraced it, we as people are natural creators. That's what we do.
Yes.
We
Yeah.
create. So, like, let us be free to create.
Yeah, I second that. I mean, you definitely bring up a great point, because in today's market, hey little guy, yeah, I saw you on the Yang videos, but yeah. Anyways, what I'm what I'm noticing that in today's market, you know, it's like our value is measured by, you know, like you say, our job title, our position, and which is pretty again also, you know, counterproductive and just, you know, just wrong. And but there are like cultures in our world where, you know, like I always use like the French for instance, you know, due to, because my friend, you know, is, you know, she's over there, and she can vouch for this. But they're like every job, every job you have is not like you know, your value of whatever isn't measured by your job title over there. I mean, like they'll even give the same sort of recognition to, for instance, like a waiter, you know, like that's why it's actually rude to give them tips, because, you know, they're paid handsomely, and they're recognized as you know, like doing their job well. And even like the other point is that we're all contributing to society in some way, shape, or form. Like a waiter, you know, you're feeding, you know, the people, whatever, you know, putting food in their bellies, and like, you know, you know, you're getting great service. I'm like, you know, that should be acknowledged, along with you know, being a content creator, an artist, a caregiver. You know, it's like it's like, you know, you're showing your value, like you're demonstrating you know, like you're contributing you are contributing in some way. You don't have to like work a 9 to 5, or be locked up, you know, be stayed in like a warehouse, or flip burgers and all this other stuff, because not everyone is built for that. And not even, and this the other thing is why this what older folks don't understand is, like they think like, oh, because we're young, whatever, that we could do A, B, and C, and it's like you're just going to like shorten our lives doing that. And also like the automation isn't going to make that easier. So it's like so things like being a content creator, entrepreneur, you know, and it's like it can definitely you know, be beneficial in the long run, you know, and it can, you know, become something much bigger or whatever. Even if you're playing video games or whatever, you get profit off you can make revenue off of that and stuff. You know, it's like, so yeah, we got to think about the future, and like these various other sort of, you know, sort of jobs or whatever, and not just limited to, you know, the typical laborers, you know, work and stuff. Like we should be able to be free to do what we want, you know, and not live in misery, you know, just to pay the bills.
You know what would be really freeing for people to be able to do what they want? A universal basic income.
Hell yeah.
Wow. Do you know how freeing that would be? Do you know how many homeless people would no longer be homeless if they had a universal basic income? Do you know how many teachers wouldn't have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I going to have to go back to school because I really don't want to get the coronavirus and bring it home to my kids or my family, my elderly parents? You know,
Do you know how many businesses will be created, or how many content creators will become like full time and successful, and how many like will be actually be able to like be healthy, mentally healthy, and actually consume like high quality foods and stuff, and not have to like settle for the burgers at McDonald's, or or the junk food at some convenience store. Like they can get like fresh produce, and like live that healthy lifestyle. They can like get that gym membership. They can they can even, like, if they're in a toxic environment, they can move out, and they can they could pay their rent, and whatever bills that they have to pay. They can even have the energy to like run for office, or have the means, the resources to do so. There's so many benefits to UBI. And I'm like, and the sort of arguments against it, I mean, they're so narrow-minded. And I mean, like, when you look at like how Congress, they easily give trillions, over trillions, to like the rich folks, the big banks, to Israel, to the military. And yet, when it comes to actually helping the people, who are actually like the biggest, like, we're like the foundation, and we're the biggest workers and biggest contributors and investors. And it's like, this literally our compensation. But for some reason, like, when it comes down to like helping us, whatever, they're like, oh, sorry, we're broke, we can't afford it. I'm like, really?
Yeah, well, that brings us full circle. The corruption's right there in our face, and they don't care. They're just going to do what they want to do. And I mean, hopefully over time, we win. That's the only hope that I have, is that we could.
And if we get UBI, it's going to change. It's going to be like life changing for everyone. If
For
that's
everyone.
it would change the face of this country, and then the world, because the world would end up following suit. I mean, there's other countries that are already doing UBI.
Yeah.
Germany is testing it out, and shout outs to David Kim, who implemented a test UBI out there where he's at.
The French side of Canada, they actually right now are giving every single francophone or whatever, every single one, like $1,500 a month. So this is like same as like Andrew Yang's plan, the freedom dividend. It was before 1K, and even my friend is getting it. She's on disability, and like every single one of them is getting 1,500. But the other thing is like they got to keep parts of their government open in order to make it work, because they don't have enough money, enough resources to close down the entire government, the entire system or whatever, during the pandemic. So even though there are more cases, they are giving compensation to their to the people. Because I'm like, if you close everything down and cut everything off, and then you still allow, you still having like rent being due, bills being due, and all this other stuff, like where people have to somehow pay back, you're going to get a lot of like backlash, a lot of frustration, a lot of unrest. So it's like, and they did this like few days after the pandemic, the COVID, like was known, or was conceived or whatever. So it's and yet we're the ones, we're claimed to be like the greatest country. For some reason, like we
guess where there's not riots right now. Guess where there's not riots in the streets of Canada. Guess where everybody's like a whole lot happier right now that they live in Canada.
Here's the other thing. Over in the French part, it's like so unemployment here is like, I believe it was confirmed 20%, right? And now, but over there, it's 4%, 3 to 4%. Like, that's low. It's like even during these times, and like freaking China, like they managed to get their people like out of the pandemic and stuff. I mean,
but you think about that, man. As a company, right? If I'm a business owner, And I know that all my people are actually being taken care of through this universal basic income during this pandemic. Then guess what? You know what? I'm okay with not firing them. Okay, I'm okay with leaving them on the employment rolls because I know that they're being taken care of, and I know that I'm being taken care of. So there's no reason for me to fire them. Right?
That's pretty much what
we
Dan
can keep
Price
all
did.
these people.
It's pretty much what that Dan Price did. You know, that one CEO where he took himself a pay cut. He didn't have to do that, you know, but he did it just to make sure his employees were well off. You know,
Made $70,000 a year. Yeah.
yeah. So,
All employees should be like that.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, there's no way that you should, live in the richest country in the world and work 40 hours a week at any job. At any job. I don't give a rat's ass what it is. I don't care if you are flipping hamburgers. You should not work 40 hours a week and not be able to provide for yourself and your household. You should be able to provide for your family.
And on top of that, even if you're not working or if you're doing something like content creation, you should be able to provide for your family, doing what you love. Everyone should be free to do what they love. Flies drive me crazy.
Hey, you're not the only one. I go crazy with mosquitoes, but yeah. But they also, like, for UBI, it's like when you mentioned South Carolina, it's like if you put UBI in that community, you know, and even like where I am, it's no different. If you put money into the community, into the hands of the people, whatever, like, you're going to see some improvements, some changes. Like, it's not going to like stay the same as it has been for years. And it's just like it's so easy, it's so practical. They can also, like, support Black businesses, and especially like I know this one chef who's a vegan chef, and I believe his name was Sadaki Emmanuel, and he has a place called Mahani's in the city. And then, but you got people over here, you know, getting Popeye sandwiches instead of going to his place. So I mean, if people got if everyone there got a UBI and it started spreading throughout the community and stuff, I'm sure like he would get a lot more traffic in his establishments, and you know, it's like people will be more well off, more healthier and stuff. I mean, yeah, it's like.
Well, look, I grew up in a poor community, and one thing about poor communities is everybody's got to hustle. You know, everybody's got a little hustle. They got to survive, and that's just it. You know, you would help so many people not have to maybe be on the wrong side of the law because they're poor if
Right.
they had a universal basic income, because then people wouldn't have to hustle as much. You know what I'm saying? There would still be some. There would still be some who would want to try to get ahead through the wrong kind of ways. But I think by and large, it would eliminate so much crime, because a lot of it is crime that people are forced to, whether it's shoplifting because they don't have any food.
Cause and
or
effect. Yeah.
Whether it's, you know, they can't get help because they keep getting popped for whatever drug it is. So, but they're not getting any kind of help with it. They're just getting arrested and being put back out on the street once their time is done. So, I mean, oh my gosh, just the myriad of social ills that could be eliminated with universal basic income.
Like that. I mean, of course, it may not happen overnight, but if you want quick change or whatever, that's the quickest. Like, putting money directly into people's bank accounts and stuff into their hands. I mean, they can pay that bill that's due tomorrow. You know, they can, you know, they'll have their minds at ease and get that, like Andrew Yang would say, get that economic boot off their throat. So it's like, and I mean, we have the resources to do that. If a culture that's limited in resources, whatever, is able to give their people financial relief, or really recognize their intrinsic value, and making sure they're at their best health, we can do it easily. Like, it's
You know
like
who
we
you
keep
can't. You know
faltering.
who you can't educate about money? Broke people. You can't educate broke people about money because they don't know what it's like to have any. But if you
Yeah.
started putting money into people's hands, you would see people start to become self-aware about money, and they would. I feel like it would fundamentally just change
Everything.
everything.
The other argument that they use is that as far as like money, like, oh, if we put money in people's hands, they're just gonna like binge. They're gonna spend. They're gonna blow it all, whatever. I'm like, you want to know what really causes that? Stress, lack of resources, and you
Mindset
know,
of scarcity.
yeah,
Mindset of
exactly,
scarcity causes that.
mindset of scarcity. And I mean, if you put that amount of money in everybody's hands on a monthly basis in perpetuity or whatever, like they're going to like manage it on their own. They're going to like be more frugal with their money and stuff. Because like when you don't have anything and then you start getting it much later on, yeah, you're most likely going to binge, or you're going to result to crimes, or you're going to know all the other stuff. But like if you put more resources into their hands, like they're going
You think
to.
about the difference, just the sheer difference that it makes when you make decisions out of a mindset of abundance as opposed to a mindset
Yeah.
of scarcity. Because when you make it out of a mindset of scarcity, man, you are about to screw up.
Yeah. Making poor decisions.
But when you have a mindset of abundance, all of a sudden you're like, you know what? Wow, I can breathe. I don't have to worry about whether I'm not going to have a place to live next month. I don't have to worry about if one of my tires goes flat. Am I going to be so broke that I can't get back and forth to work? Can't afford to fix the tire because I don't have the money to fix it. So now I can't get back and forth to work. So now I've got to call my friend to see if my friend can carry me to work. That didn't work out. So guess what? Now I'm absent at work. Not only am I now more broke than I was when I started with, but now I'm also about to get fired from my fucking job because I can't get there because my car broke down because I can't afford to pay the tire. Oh my gosh, we could end all of this madness, y'all.
We can
end it.
We can.
I'm done.
Well, it's like well, I mean, on that note, I mean, I know like and I'm not sure if we got to this, but I know like you mentioned before that I don't know if I'm not sure if it's just you, Russ, or both of you guys, but it's like I heard that that you're planning on running for Congress like in like 2022 for like representing Vermont. You mind telling the listeners and viewers like like what's the status on that, like what's like how are things going with that, like it's yeah.
Well, one of the things about that is you have to have a continuous residency in Vermont for a couple of years.
Or like a year.
Or like a year, yeah. And we have been able to do that, and now, thanks to someone who is really, really awesome, we are able to get a house under contract here in Vermont. So, Representative Peter Welch, I'm coming for your spot. So you better be ready.
Yeah, that's the incumbent you're going against. What's the seat? What's the seat you're going after?
House of Representatives.
House. Yeah.
We only have one representative here in Vermont.
Yeah, just one, because we're such
A sparsely populated state.
Yeah.
Wish you were going against Nancy Pelosi, it's like or Mitch. It's like that would have been awesome because like I do know that even though getting a seat is also a good thing, like for Congress or whatever. I mean, it is the speakers that have the last word. I mean, I know you also interviewed like. Go ahead.
But look, yeah, but I kind of feel like you've got the perfect guy out there right now running against Nancy Pelosi and Shahid Buttar.
Shahid Buttar, yeah.
And we we have had the opportunity to have him on the show, and I mean, he's very much on point with a lot of what he knows about the corruption. He sees it, and he's been calling her out, and he's got a huge following. So, man, I hope he gets it. I don't really like his views on universal basic income, but
Yeah.
we can get him to come around. But we got to unseat Nancy Pelosi because that woman is just, come on, man.
I mean, that's step one.
All
Yeah.
of y'all just get out, get out, get out.
Clean them all out. We gotta start. We gotta start from scratch, man. We gotta get the right people in. You know, so I mean, like, and like, even though like Shahid Buttar, I know he means well. I mean, it's like, listen, again, like I'm about action, and you gotta you gotta listen to the experts. You gotta listen to guys like Andrew Yang and Scott Sands and various others who, Zoltan Ishban. I know you had him on as well. Like you gotta listen to those sorts of people. It's like if you want to get stuff done, you can't be closed-minded because that is and do things your way or whatever. I mean, and I might be overextending it or judging or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, we got to get this right, because it's like we can't be so self-absorbed in our own stuff, whatever. You got to listen to the people and see what works, because it's like one more mistake and we're just going to mess it all up, because we got America's on the operating table.
Man, you are not kidding, bro. I'm man. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All I see is darkness in front of America right now, because unless it's a landslide victory one way or the other in this election, all I see is neither side wanting to give in and neither side wanting to cede the presidency.
Not wanting to acquiesce. No, it's just.
And I don't know where that leaves us as a country, because, man, we're already seeing the top about to blow off of this thing, man. It's like you said, we're on the operating table. And I don't see an end. I really don't.
I mean, I hope that it does, like we do get the right people in, including yourself. And I mean, and I'm hoping, like, with Andrew Yang, like, trying to, like, get on a bigger platform like CNN and talk with various other, top people and stuff, and like really trying to, do his own yanging, like
That's
you
just
mentioned.
it.
Yeah.
Is it already too late? Is
Yeah.
us running? Is that too little, too late? Because things are so far gone in this country now, as we're speaking. It's like, and that's where, man, you saw Andrew Yang, and he was the one guy. He was the one guy that could have changed it all.
Because imagine if he had got nominated right now, we wouldn't have the division.
No, we
We
wouldn't.
wouldn't have. It would be like a whole different country right now.
And I feel like
believe
it
that.
would be a landslide victory for Andrew
Mhm.
Yang. It would be a landslide.
Because there's nothing Trump could say about him.
Nope.
Nothing.
Nothing.
He would demolish Trump on the debate stage, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he demolished Bernie, so it's like, but with Andrew Yang, he's like dead silent. But I do know that there was like this one group over in Congress. You probably, and I believe you guys heard of the story, but I believe they're like independents for like both parties, and they called themselves Problem Solver Caucus. Yeah, I mean, first when I saw that, I was like, so who created Carton Ellis and Cody the Oracle? It's like but
shout out to them.
yeah, I know, right? They're awesome, but it's like yeah, they made like this new plan about the 1.5 trillion proposal, whatever, to which also include the stem check and triggers. And and speaking of which, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this channel called Clear Value Tax. There's this guy Brian who gives daily updates about the stem check and stuff, and he mentioned, like,
I'm familiar with it.
You're familiar with him? Yeah,
I'm familiar with it. I'm more familiar with his rival, Meet Kevin, but yeah, I know who that is.
Oh wow, I didn't know about that, but I mean he's like,
A little rivalry.
Yeah.
I mean, but as far as like news reporting, like he's pretty clear cut, straightforward. But he did mention that the proposal they had that the Problem Solver Caucus created, we're just gonna call them PSC, and they said it included like triggers. So like if the pandemic doesn't subside and this new wave comes, then people will automatically get another stem check, possibly reoccurring. So but freaking Nancy Pelosi won't budge. It's like, and now she's like trying to like increase the amount. It's like I really hope more people are like.
That's been the issue ever since they were talking about getting UBI way back in the day. I think
Yeah.
it was Democrats who were like, "Oh no, that's not enough. That's not enough. It's got to be more." And guess what? It stalled, and nobody ever got anything. And this is just what they do, man. This is as long as they can keep doing this, back and forth. Watch, UBI is going to be one of those issues that is going to become a partisan issue.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be demonized because the Democrats are going to be behind it eventually.
Or if the Republicans
Or if the
propose
Republicans,
it first, the Democrats will be against it. Yeah.
And it's going to be like abortion and guns, and
It'll be one of those things split.
everybody's just going to.
Police brutality and or like
get over this
putting in a
bullshit
new
already.
Supreme
Can we get over
Court.
this two-party bullshit and just like go ahead and like create this massive third party called
Andrew Yang Party.
the Pissed Off People's Party, and like let's
Or the
roll.
People Party, yeah. I mean, I know that's being implemented. Scott Sands actually, I think, spoke on that. Yeah, I mean, hey, maybe this crisis or pandemic will somewhat turn over a new leaf and get people to like actually, consider third party and things like, these parties like the People Party and stuff, or Pissed Off Party, where they are about like solving the problems of today and tomorrow. So it's like, I mean, hey, anything can happen.
Is that like you down with OPP? Yeah, you know me.
You know me.
The other People's Party.
Yeah, hey, if you listeners didn't get the joke, you're too young for me. But anyways,
That's right.
I mean, it's just like pretty ridiculous. I'm like, I'm considered young, so I know when I was your age.
I didn't even think about that. How can OPP be dated? Like, how is that? That's like classic, man.
The classic. Like Chris Cross and Joe Jones.
Oh my gosh! See, the young generation, they don't know nothing about crisscross. or any.
Oh man, that's a whole nother discussion altogether. Like we could go in on that.
Yeah, for sure. Because listen, she hears me complain all the time. I'll complain about hip hop nowadays, and I'll be like, man, that shit is not the Wu-Tang Clan.
That shit is crap.
It is garbage. Hip hop today is garbage compared to like
Man,
and Ludacris and come on, man,
Luda. I mean, shoot, like Lil Bow Wow before he started going stale, and I mean, like I mean, even Jay-Z, like it like back then, like he was a badass, and Chicago's own Twista, like he's the real deal, but also like I think what's the other guys like Lottie Dottie, We Like to Party, and Public Enemy. Oh gosh, it's like I don't remember all the names, but I also like grew up on rock groups like Led Zeppelin, Faith No More. Then it came Linkin Park.
You notice that it's always better, like at the roots. Like I feel like that's where we just need to get back to as a country.
Yeah, get back to, yeah.
Because music is always better in the early stages. Like I listen to reggaeton now, and it's just like not as good as it was when it first came out. And I listen to, whatever it is, just rock, hip hop.
Like anything that has not just a good beat, but like a strong message. Just like
Because
with
it's all about the
movies.
soul. It's all about the soul.
Yeah, that too. Right.
When you hear Jimi Hendrix playing the guitar, man, that motherfucker's playing it with soul.
You know about Jimmy?
God.
My man. That's- man, these kids don't know.
No, they don't. But hopefully we'll be able to educate them before it's all over with.
Hopefully we can bring the old school back, that mindset back, because it was like a different time, you know, like where and like just like when you mentioned like the artistry or whatever, like that's where you saw it in those old school rap and rock, alternative and hip hop, various other things. I mean, it used to be poetry, that's where it started. So it's like, yeah, we gotta like bring that back and make it more potent in this society, because everything now is just so mediocre and mainstream, especially that mumble rap and all those poppy songs. It's like, come on.
Like WAP.
Ugh. Ew. Oh, don't get me started.
Terrible. What happened to music?
What happened? I've just been listening to like those underground like sort of groups or whatever that actually kind of like what do you call it, like bring
Oh
back.
man, you got it. Yeah, see, listen. I got music for you. You want to hear some real hip hop still? Listen to like Diesel Automatic. Listen to Steve Grant. Listen to I can send you a whole list of motherfuckers who. It's called Truth Hop. Vinny Paz. Oh man, listen.
I think I heard of Benny.
I have got some music for you then. You want some music? And it's all about, it's talking about real issues, talking about them taking away our freedoms. It's talking about what we can do about it. It's talking about how we need to fight back. It's talking about, it's some real shit.
Yeah, especially like, Tupac is another one. It's like,
Oh, yeah, come on. Look, don't even get me started on that. I don't even want to talk about
man, shoot, same.
that.
I mean, oh man, it's like they were ahead of their time. Like they
For sure.
and this was like back in the day. Like they could like see the writing on the walls, like us. And I mean, these things didn't really take off, but they just, it's like they could just foresee it. Things are getting worse, and now they're gone. That's what's so messed up. Or they're just like,
That's my generation. See, that we ain't all gone. We still here fighting. And
yeah.
We started to get awake, and now it's becoming a thing in the consecutive generations that have come after us. People are
Gen X, and then you got the millennials and Gen Z. They're
and
working on it.
as I raise my son will know the truth. He'll be raised knowing the truth. There are certain words that my son will never hear come out of my mouth. He won't even know that word exists until he hears it come out of somebody else's mouth. So guess what? Take responsibility, because it's going to be you that influences my son. It won't be me.
Right. Yeah, amen to that, man. Well, on that note, let's get into like something exciting, since we're like running a bit low. I mean, like, and I'm not I didn't mention this yet, but again, like you guys were actually been interacting a lot with the boss, Andrew Yang. So it's like, you mind like tell me what that was like, being around him, being in that like smack dab in that sort of like energy and excitement or whatever, because like just give me like just like a like that sort of like just sort of in feeling or in visual, whatever, like what else, what did I miss out on? 'Cause I only got like a taste of it.
Izzy, you wouldn't believe it, man. As soon as you get close to Andrew Yang, there's like this humming that goes on in the universe, and there's this aura that starts surrounding him, and you just feel enveloped in love and tenderness, and you know that everything's gonna be all right.
It's something like that, though.
You listen to too much Carl Sagan, Russ.
I do. Hey, Carl Sagan has some good stuff. He's got some good points. He did a lot of research.
But Andrew's so he's just so genuine. Like, and you can probably tell that just from watching him on YouTube or on the news, whatever it is. But when you get up close to him and just have a conversation with him, it's like, he's not doing this for himself, you know, and everything he says is the truth, you know, like everything. He's not trying to lie to anyone. He's not trying to pander to anyone. He's just being himself, and he wants to help people. So
I often wonder if Andrew Yang's mom had him in a manger. Come on, that's where Jesus was born? A manger?
Oh.
Come on. Why do I gotta explain the joke?
Well, I do kind of say that Andrew Yang is like a prophet, so maybe that's I kind of get it, but yeah, it's
Well,
like
there have actually been, what people don't understand is like there have been many Christ. Christ is a title. It's not.
he's Messiah.
It's
Yeah.
not a person, and it can be a lot of those. You know,
Yeah.
what is a prophet except somebody who sees the writing on the wall and is like has enough common sense to grasp it at the time.
Right.
You know.
and are pragmatic or humble, and it's like that's.
I mean, if my child grows up to be as good a man as Andrew Yang, I'd be happy with that. You
Oh,
know?
that would be awesome. It's like
Yeah.
'cause we need more people like that. You know, it's like there's those sorts of people. Not only are they qualified leaders, but if you have more of them, like you'll see more progress. You'll see a better tomorrow, a better future. It's like man, I'm sure like if there were more people like him across the world, and especially in similar societies like ours, like I'm sure my two close friends wouldn't have suffered the way they did, and yeah, like they themselves would probably be starting a business and traveling the world, seeing what else is out there, and just enjoying life and stuff. So it's like, man, it's like that's what I'm trying so hard to do, and it's like yeah, so like, and that's why it kind of upsets me when I see those who in other blue hats or whatever who would like they will only be about humanity first when Andrew Yang says so, when he was like running or whatever. But once that stopped, so did they, and I'm sitting there going like, wait a minute, he's not like the creator or whatever, like he's just like the training wheels, and it's up to us to keep pushing that and be the new driving force or whatever. That's like he can't do it all for us. It's like we gotta like yeah, make it like an everyday.
Pants on.
Yeah, put big boy pants on, right? It's like and be humble ourselves and learn from others, and and like help others out and stuff, because like treat others how you want to be treated, right? So it's like, yeah. And I mean, I wish I could meet Andrew Yang. Like the closest I've ever been to him was his hand, because like when I was at the rally, he was like doing this on the stands, and like I just got it a little quick high five. He was like, oh, like, and like I at least scream like a girl when it's on. It's like I can only imagine.
We all do it. Our first time meeting Andrew, we all scream like girls.
I remember one day in New Hampshire, there was a few people that were meeting him for the first time, and it was that outdoor thing. It was really cold. I remember that. And there was this one guy, and he was just like, "I love you so much, Andrew." And then the other guy, "I love you." Like,
oh, thank you.
It's great, but that's because he is the person who put humanity first on the radar in a big way.
On the map, yeah.
And that's what we kind of all got behind, was this idea that no matter what side of the spectrum we are on, we can come together, because most of us are just really right there in the middle. Most of us just want our family and our friends to do good. I want to see you do better. I want to see my parents who are struggling to pay for their medication do better. I want to see, I don't want to see children going hungry. And I think that's where most of us are at in America. We are right there in the middle. So as soon as we can grasp that in a more conscious manner, I think we're all going to be a whole lot better off.
And we gotta grasp it fast, very fast, because it's like things are just getting worse, pretty quickly, like pretty instantly, and we gotta do something fast. This is like, otherwise, it's like we will be, like you say, a dystopian, atmosphere. It's like, and we're already there, like, to be honest, like we gotta like eliminate that and bring forth that energy, that excitement. The thing we gotta taste for at the rallies, like we gotta bring that into society, along with humanity first and various others.
For sure. Izzy, it has been so fun to speak with you today.
Yeah,
Do you
man.
have any final questions before we get out of here?
Yeah, we are out of time, but like you mind like giving the listeners like dropping your like or social media, just let tell them like where they could find all your content, all your updates, all your ideas and stuff, where they could search for you, like why don't you give them that or whatever, where they can hit you up at and stuff.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want me to tell everybody? Well, Grassroots Yang Gang on YouTube. So I think if you type that in the search, it'll bring up our channel, because I don't think anybody else has named that yet. So, Grassroots Yang Gang, and it's Grassroots hashtag Yang Gang, but I think it'll find it either way. That's our main thing. I mean, once you get there, you can find all of our other, like our Twitters. And,
Right. I am at Bbox Reality on Twitter, and she is at Crystal's Lady.
I should have changed that whenever I joined the Yang Gang.
I mean,
It doesn't fit anymore.
You still like Crystals, don't you?
I do, but
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, definitely check these guys out. And also, to those of you listening or watching, if you yourself want to be the next guest, on this show, definitely hit me up on Twitter at IzzyBeyond. That's IzzyBeyond, or email me at ismail.bolden, ismail.bolden@gmail.com. And great, and I would love to hear your story or your ideas and stuff. Anything you want to share with the audience and stuff is like, yeah, let's make it happen. But until then, I'll see you all again on the next episode of IzzyLand Uncut.